overarching spirituality for you to move through?
Well, I mean, I just kind of decided to look at it a different way. I
Okay.
think spirituality is really, at least in this scenario, something that just people, like you said, feel is kind of larger than them. It doesn't necessarily have to be a god or anything like that. It could be the people around you. It could
Okay.
be, people you care about. And in my case, it was the group in AA.
Okay.
They were just,
Excellent.
it felt like that was something that I could aim to please. They may be trying to please a god, but I, frankly, am trying to please them because I care about their opinion, what they think, and I care what Bill thinks too.
Okay. So, once again, from the spiritual side, you've kind of connected kind of up here into AA as, that kind of being your higher power. So you gain a lot of energy, support, confidence, stuff like that from the AA group. Okay, excellent. Anything else that would be a factor in there? So socially, people you hang out with, organizations that you're involved with?
Well, I mean, I have a couple friends. I mean, you've got like Jenny and
Okay.
Bethany that I hang out with. I guess with Bill and I have gotten so serious that sometimes friends fall to the wayside, and it's something you don't want to happen, but it
Okay.
kind of does. When you get older and when you get so busy. But yeah, I mean, I maybe wish that we were closer. Have a little more of an outlet, someone to talk to, kind of thing. But I mean, still very close to them, the type of people you may not be in contact with, but you still consider.
So
like,
how would I draw my line for Jenny?
I don't know, tenuous sounds kind of negative. I guess we'd go, because it's not like we're fighting or
Yeah.
anything, it's just kind of broken contact because, you kind of grow apart a
Kind of
little bit,
distant?
but yeah, for both of them, for
Okay.
Jenny and Bethany, I suppose I just put...
So let's do this. We'll just do this. We'll just put that as distant then.
I like that.
Okay?
It's
and perfect. So anything else you want to add to your EcoMap?
Well, I mean, if I'm being totally honest, you would probably have to put heroin on there.
Okay.
While it's 5 months, it's not. I mean, you think about it every hour. You get past it, but you still think about the experience, especially when you get stressed. Because that's another reason we need to work on this communication with Bill, because the worse I feel, the more I want an escape or a high to combat the low that I just felt with him. So I'd be lying to myself if I said it wasn't.
Okay.
Still.
So strong relationship kind of still overtakes your emotions, or would it be kind of distant at this time? What would you say?
I would. It's probably a little bit distant because it's not like.
Okay.
It's kind of one of those things where you think about it, but it's not like I've gone and gotten needles. I learned my lesson on that one with the Hep C, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, it's definitely still a thought that's there pretty often.
Okay. Excellent EcoMap. I mean, there's what we'll do is as we come back and further on, we'll kind of continue to look at that and see where you sit with those, or if there's anything else that's been added. I went to a conference years ago, and it was pretty. It was incredible. There was a guy up there. He was an engineer. Like, he's not even like a counselor or mental health or social worker or anything. And he was up there talking about just dynamics of engineering. And he mentioned he had a scenario where he said, what happens when somebody gets a flat tire, and he went through the scenario that you get out of the car and you look at the tire, you're taking the tire off. Do I have everything? And this whole stressful thing that is going on, focusing on the tire. And he made this one point that's just stuck in my head forever. He said that, when something like that happens, people will focus strictly on the tire, and they forget that there's 20,000 perfectly working parts still going on in the vehicle. And I always stuck with that. It's like, you're in here today, and, and truthfully, you got a few things that you kind of got going on that's, how it weighed on the soul a little bit. What are your working parts? I mean, I know AA. I know Greg, your sponsor, who's working very good. What other working parts do you have that's doing really well for you? It could be anything.
Well, I mean, I would kind of look at some certain aspects of myself. I mean, the things that keep me happy or keep me grounded are the fact that I think even despite my problems, I'm a really compassionate person. I'm really caring. which I think probably has come through when I talk about Bill and, you know, the people in AA, but, yeah, I would say I kind of
Okay.
like that sort of thing about myself. I just think I'm
Yeah, so
generally,
that compassion right there just is really one of those things that you know that's just working. Like even though you got, you know, all this other stuff going on, you can still find time to be compassionate. Pretty accurate?
yeah, definitely. And it's still,
Okay.
you know, you could even look at Jenny and Bethany, like I said, you know, kind of grow apart, but that doesn't mean, like, I still go out of my way to make sure that, you know, if they're going through something, I reach out because, I mean, that's kind of how I am, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, looking at you coming in here and the areas that you want to look on, what would be, you know, what would be the hope that you'd get that what would be the hope that you'd get out of these sessions? I mean, coming here, what would you want to get out of our time? I mean, think big. In the end, what would be the hope that you want to gain out of these sessions?
Well, you know, the way I've always thought about it, I think everyone's goal is just to be happy, which
Okay.
I know is kind of a big, it's kind of hard to pin
Yeah.
that down, but yeah, I mean, I just want to, you know, I suppose wake up and feel like, you know, I'm not about to lose my job, I'm not about to lose the man that I might, you know, and
Okay.
probably going to marry, you know, like, I don't know, I suppose there's just a lot of things that are really stressing me, and I suppose I just want those to not be there anymore, or
Okay.
at least be weaker, I
Okay.
suppose.
No, I understand that. So, you know, overall goal, really out there, you want to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order for me to know and kind of us to know together, what does happiness look like for you?
Well, I mean, happiness I guess for me, I've always been a people person. It's just, you know, it's those moments, Christmas Eve, it's Thanksgiving around the table with, you know, people you care about. It's, you know, playing with your pets. It's just like, you know, small moments where.
So interacting with people and people you care about and things drives a lot of happiness for you.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. I guess looking at it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being this, you can picture and see, you know, if you shut your eyes, what happiness looks like for you. You know, 1, it's not going so well. Where do you rate on that scale today? 10 being that future big, huge happiness that you have planned for you. 1 being I don't really have anything right now. Where would you rate yourself?
I'd probably put myself at about a 4, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I you know, I have some things going for me. It's not like I'm living on the streets or anything, because I know how
Okay.
bad that can be. But, you know, I just at the same time when I want to be happy, you know, with people and, you know, the one person who I, you know, want to get all the happiness from, you know, I feel kind of distant from. You know,
Okay.
it's kind of hard to rise past that, I guess.
Okay, tell me about a day in your life. On an average day, just walk me through very quickly on what goes on in your day.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll wake up. Generally, Bill will be up before me. He takes care of like the housekeeping and stuff like
Okay.
that. So he's usually, you know, already at work.
So you wake up about what time?
You know, probably about 7. I usually need to be at work by like 8:15 or so,
Okay.
8:30, depending on the shifts those days. But yeah, so I'll get to work. I do some, you know, like janitorial type stuff,
Okay.
which you know, I like being active and working with my hands.
Okay.
So work
Okay.
isn't bad. It's just, you know, sometimes I miss it because
Okay.
of health issues. But when I'm there, it's not too bad. I guess it's you know, you go through, you know, work, come home.
What time do you normally
Bill-
get home?
You know, I'll get home around like 6 usually.
Okay. And then what happens?
Well, sometimes Bill will have made dinner maybe, or sometimes if not, we'll do it together. It's one of the
Okay.
things we definitely do together there. But then I guess we will watch TV or something. It's just we'll find something to do that, you know, it's like a point we both focus on, whether it's like a video game or TV or, you know, we read sometimes. But it just always seems like we're not really interfacing with each other. We're
Okay.
just both interacting with something else.
Okay.
together. And you know, we like to. I'm glad we're doing it together, but we're not
You know, really,
connecting.
it's almost like
I
texting.
guess.
Like, you know, you texting there and I'm texting here. We're
Yeah.
together, but we're not really. Is that pretty? Is that
exactly?
okay?
Yeah, that's a good way. Yeah, because that's kind of how it feels like. You know,
Okay.
so you are texting. Yeah, if you're interacting, but it doesn't really feel real. you
Okay.
know? Yeah.
So then, after that, you go to bed about what time?
Well, I'm usually really tired after work, so we'll go to bed. You know, I'll probably go to bed a little before 10 or around then, but you know,
Okay.
I'll fall asleep around maybe 11 or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me get. If for some reason you woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning, Bill's downstairs, got up earlier than you. He's working on the house, and he's you know, doing a what he usually does. You get up, you know, you go through your day, you go to work, you come home, you do the little interact but not really interact thing on the couch. You do make dinner together, and then you go to bed. But for some reason, this day is a little bit different. When you wake up in the morning, you've reached the 10. You're happy. You've achieved that piece that you wanted, the reason you've come through this door. How do you know? How would you know when you woke up in the morning that you've reached a 10?
Oh, man.
What would be
well,
different?
I guess if I was at 10, I'd be at a point where I already knew that Bill and I had kind of fixed all of our issues, and you know we're already, and that's just something you kind
Yeah,
of already.
but
know,
I get that. But what would be some of the things that you'd notice right away? Like you and Bill fixed your issues. What would be the sign that you fixed your issue? How would you know that?
It's a good. I mean, we're so far from it. Usually, I haven't ever really thought about it. I guess probably the main thing is he'd probably be waking up together at that point.
Okay, so waking up about the same time. Bill has not got up and rushed down there to do housework.
Yeah.
And when you wake up, you're looking at each other eye to eye. That would let you know it's different. It's
Yeah,
Richard.
it's very
What's
different.
next? What would be something else after that?
I mean, honestly, I think we would just start between he and I. We'd kind of start doing things together that actually required us to, you know, be together, not just physically be near, but actually like be with one another.
Okay.
So I suppose we could, I don't know, if we just started doing coupley activities, I suppose, whether it was like
what?
classes or we could, I don't know, you could do, I mean, I'm into the corny stuff. We could go hiking, we could go on a picnic.
Okay. So hiking and picnic, that sounds awesome.
You go skydiving.
Ooh.
We've always joked about that, but
Well, I've never done that.
I don't know. Yeah, I just
So-
feel like
so
we would do.
So there would be more. It wouldn't be that you guys would be in the same area. It would be that when you are together in that area, there's something going on that is connecting the two of you. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, you know when you first meet somebody and you really like them, and they walk into the room, and nothing's like physically touching you, but you feel different.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that feeling would be back.
Okay.
You know.
Now, I mean, we're moving through here really well. My question is, you know, as far as that, you know, your future hope and gaining happiness and doing that. Have you experienced that before? Has there been times in your life that you could say, man, you know, I did wake up happy. I did feel connected to people. I did, you know, feel like, you know, the world's not weighing in on my shoulders, and that even though I'm going to a job that, you know, I'm working with my hands, it's something I'm very proud of and I love, you know? And then when I come home, it's like, man, I cannot wait to be in my house. You know, has there been times in your life where things you've been happy?
It's been a while, because what I guess ultimately when I think of like Bill and I want like a steady family relationship, which is not something I ever had. So I mean, I never knew my dad.
Okay.
My mom just kind of like, you know, boyfriend after boyfriend after boyfriend coming through the house. I mean, when I was like 14 or so, junior high, like, you know, school was really good for a while. at a certain point, I didn't want to be with my mom anymore, so
Yeah.
I kind of left. But before, I mean, up until I was 14, kind of like 12 to 14, school was really good. You know, had a lot of friends. You know, I was involved in like school activities, so I wouldn't come home until kind of later. So most of my day would be like with friends and, you know, doing stuff.
Really, it's kind of like our ego map, kind of socially connected.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Well, before we close the session, I always like to, you know, I really like to see people, you know, start working kind of quickly on what they want. You know, it's your life. So if we're sitting at a 4 today, and that's what you shared we were at, what would it take you to get to a 5? What would have to be different in your life between now and our next appointment? What would be different? What is 1 or 2 little things that you could do that would take that from a 4 to a 5?
Well, you know, I guess it would make me a lot happier if I was, you know, kind of rekindled my friendship with Jenny, I guess.
Okay.
It'd be nice to see her again, whether, you know, it was dinner or a movie, or it wouldn't have to be anything crazy, just kind of catching up. Or, I mean, it wouldn't even necessarily have to be Jenny. It would just be, say, it could be Bill, you know, going out to dinner. Just, I don't know, a little more interaction, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to do something like that between now and next time we see each other?
I would love an excuse to.
Exactly. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. It's just kind of, sometimes you feel a little weird sometimes just calling out of the blue saying, hey, do you want to get, but if it's like, hey, you know, I have a reason behind it, then you.
If there's one thing that I'm about, it's about you reaching what you want. You want hope, you want happiness, and the reality of it is that's one thing you can do between now and then, before the next time we see you. And what I want you to do is kind of be real mindful to what that does for you between now and next week, okay?
Okay.
In closing, you know, I always like to, how would I say it? I like to give you exactly what I got, all right? So here's what I got just looking at your stuff is that, you know, you have this relationship with Bill. You love him, you care for him, you all have some issues that you're working on. You got hepatitis C, so, you know, you got some of the medical stuff going on, you know, that you're going to have to overcome and you have to work with. You have, you know, some, you know, tough, distant relationships, and you got some, you know, areas that, you know, you might be an area that you might want to look at. But out of all that, I heard more than anything else is here's this person that's had difficult relationships with family, you know, difficult relationship with Bill, just trying to figure that out, you know, battled heroin addiction for, you know, a long time. And here you are in this session, going to AA, 4 months of sobriety, maintaining a relationship with Will and a desire to make it better. And then here we are looking at how do we rekindle some of these other relationships. It just really sounds like you really have some areas in your life that's just working for you. So really, you know, in kind of closing this whole session, what I'd like to do is continue to keep going towards, you know, those things that are working and that you can actually kind of control a little bit by interacting with. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Okay. So before we leave, is there anything you need from me before we close this session? Anything you want to ask? Anything that you'd like from me? Any work you need me to do next week between now and when you come back, because you have something that I need to look up or get smarter on that you think that would be beneficial for our partnership?
Well, I mean, the main issues, I mean, with people, I can catch up next week. I don't think I'm going to relapse with it. I mean, I still think about the heroin, but I don't think I'm going to relapse or anything. I mean, I guess if I collapse in front of you due to liver failure, you might want to know a little bit about Hep C. But
I understand.
I think we're probably on good foundation here, though.
Okay, so between now and next meeting, you're going to go to dinner with Bill. No video games, no phone, no TV, right? You and two to dinner. And if it's not Bill, then you said you're one of your 2 friends, Jenny. And when you go out to dinner, it's going to be about rekindling that happiness that you've experienced once before. All right. Anything else for me today?
No, I think that's all. I think we're all good.
All right. Barbara's going to be out there. Barbara's going to set you up with an appointment. What I want you to do for Barbara is I would really like you to take a look. You know, my assessment times, or this time right here, is kind of, I have minimal slots. But from here on out, you know, I'm open 8 to 5, you know, our thing's 8 to 5. So you'll have a lot larger range of when you want to come in. So when you get out there, I want you to kind of look at that. And I even have a few evening sessions, so that way it doesn't interfere with your work, because Hep C already takes it out. So try to find one that works the best for you, because I really want this to be a very positive and incredible experience for both of us. So if you can do that, let Barbara know, get that set up, and I will see you at that appointment time, okay?
Okay. Sounds
All right,
good.
I'll see you later.
Thank you.